Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Get Your Fears On podcast, where we talk about mindset, strategies, and tips on how to exceed in life and business. My name is Tiana, and I love helping people like you who want to live a purposeful and fulfilling life. Today, we are going to talk about how to break free from procrastination and take control of your actions. So, let's be honest. How many times have you set a goal, felt fired up about it, and then nothing happened? You procrastinate, you get distracted, and days turn into weeks without real progress. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week, next month, next year, and finally never. Sounds familiar? Procrastination isn't about laziness, it's not about lack of motivation. It's about mismanaging your emotions, your time, and your mental energy. And that's what we are solving today. By the end of this episode, you will have clear tactical strategies to break the cycle of procrastination and take full control of your actions. This isn't about the hype. This is about practical, psychological backed methods that work. And if this episode resonates with you, take a screenshot, share it on your Instagram, and tag me at Tiana De Rey. Share it with a friend, and let's take action together. Let's start with identifying first, why are you stuck in the procrastination loop? Procrastination isn't a productivity issue. It's an emotional regulation problem. Your brain isn't avoiding the task itself, it's avoiding how the task makes you feel. Most common one is the fear of failure. If you don't start, you cannot fail. You won't think of yourself as a loser, and no one else will think that you're a loser. Your brain protects your ego by keeping you in a state of inaction. And the other one is overwhelm. You look at the entire mountain instead of the first step, making the task feel impossible before you even begin. The key to conquering this big mountain and a big goal is breaking it down into small, actionable steps. And then finally, we have instant gratification. Your brain is wired for reward. Scrolling, watching TV, or even cleaning the house feels more satisfying than tackling on a big project because you get immediate reward from it. And I want you to recognize which one of these is keeping you stuck. Awareness is the first step to breaking the cycle. And here's a 3-part strategy on how to overcome procrastination. Now that we know why you procrastinate, let's talk about how to break free from the cycle immediately. Step 1 is shrink the resistance. The hardest part of any task is getting started. So your brain is exaggerating difficulty, making a 30-minute task feel like a 3-hour nightmare. So what is the solution? Make the task so small that it's impossible to resist. Instead of saying, I have to write a report, say, I'll write the first sentence. Or instead of saying, I have to go to the gym, say, I'll put on my workout shoes. Trick your brain. Step 2, use the 5-minute rule. And this one is my favorite. So commit to just 5 minutes of the task. After the 5 minutes, if you want to stop, you can, but 90% of the time you won't. So that's the trick. Once you start, momentum takes over. And step 3 is create immediate consequence. We procrastinate because there is no immediate consequence attached to inaction. Fix this by creating real accountability. Involve someone you respect. Tell a mentor, a coach, or a colleague about your goal and schedule a check-in. You'll be more likely to follow through if you know that they will ask about your progress. Use time pressure. Set a non-negotiable deadline like booking a meeting where you must present your work or committing to a challenge with a set finish date. Tie progress to privileges. No social events until you finish that report. No Netflix or social media until the task is done. Simple, immediate incentives can rewire your behavior. And finally, make it visible. Track progress publicly on a whiteboard or an accountability post online. Seeing tangible results builds momentum. Make inaction more uncomfortable than action. And here's a challenge for you. Choose one of these strategies and apply them today. Small action beats big intentions. And here's the neuroscience of taking action and staying consistent. Your brain isn't built for long-term reward. It is built for survival. If a task doesn't give you immediate sense of pleasure or relief, your brain will resist it. Dopamine and momentum. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter responsible for motivation. The more small wins you create, the more dopamine you release, reinforcing the habit of action. Then we have habit stacking. Attach new habits to existing routines. For example, if you drink coffee every morning, make that the trigger for taking your first task of the day. And lastly, reduce decision fatigue. High achievers don't waste energy debating if they should act. They decide and then execute. Remove unnecessary choices. Make the decision making easier. Set up your schedule in a way that action is automatic. And ask yourself, where can you apply this right now to eliminate hesitation? So how do you stay on track and prevent future procrastination? Breaking procrastination once is great, but staying consistent is the real challenge. And here's how you can keep yourself on track long term. First, we have weekly reflection. For example, every Sunday or any day of the week that works for you, review your past week. What slowed you down? What worked? Adjust accordingly. Keep visual cues. Keep your goals visible. Sticky notes, whiteboards, reminders, whatever it takes. Make your intentions impossible to ignore. Surround yourself with action takers. Your environment influences your behavior. Hang around disciplined people and you'll naturally level up. And finally, celebrate small wins. Progress fuels motivation. Recognize your daily wins to reinforce momentum. And lastly, procrastination isn't a character flaw. It's a pattern. Change the pattern and you change your life. And here are some of today's episode's recap and takeaways. Firstly, that procrastination is not about laziness. It's emotional resistance. Second, start small. Shrink the task to remove resistance. Third, use the 5-minute rule. Momentum will take over. 4, create real consequences for inaction. 5, train your brain with dopamine wins and habit stacking. And 6, eliminate hesitation. Set yourself up for automatic success. And now it's your move. Pick one of these strategies and implement them today. No waiting, no overthinking, just action. If this episode helped you, you can send me a DM on Instagram at Tiana Del Rey and let me know which of these strategies are you going to start implementing today. If you enjoy my show, please click that follow button so that you don't miss an episode. I'm so excited that you are here and I will see you in the next episode.